So we are going to talk about Ayaka in the podcast, but there's literally only one good reason for me to pull an Ayaka.
Yeah.
And that's to run the new strongest team.
Yeah.
Which is called either Morgana or Morgaka, depending on who you talk to. I've been calling it Morganka because I think it sounds funnier.
How about we just stop giving them stupid names?
But anyway, it's the classic Morgana team, but you replace Diona with Ayaka. So you're like, I mean, I don't have a healer or shielding,
you don't need a heal when you wipe.
Who needs it when you have Venti plus permafreeze plus the highest DPS ceiling in the game?
Morgana, yeah.
Morgana, yeah.
All right. We are here. Welcome to the podcast, the Gremlin Guys podcast.
Hello, it is Gremlin Guys podcast. I
Now-
am Gremlin 1, Jinx.
And I'm Gremlin 2, Tutor.
Gremlin Tuner.
I was gonna say now brought to you in smell-o-vision, but then you made your joke first.
Haha!
Touche.
I have ruined your plans.
You don't ruin everything. You enhance it like a spice.
LOL.
If you could be one spice, what spice would you be? If you could, okay, let me phrase that.
Paprika.
If you could only use one spice for the rest of your life. Paprika.
The salt count as a spice?
No.
Salt doesn't count.
Salt and pepper are free.
Yeah.
Salt and pepper are free.
Okay, salt and pepper are free. It's paprika. Smoked paprika specifically.
Smoked paprika. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Respectable. I'm kind of addicted to Szechuan peppercorns, so.
Fair, but by themselves, all they really do is numb.
True.
Like, Sichuan peppercorns are great, but without the presence of other spices and heats, they just make your tongue numb.
Not gonna lie, I kind of like that.
Fair.
do my tears count as spice? Crying into my food, what the hell?
You get something from crying into my food. Okay.
I'm
Let's
here for you.
see.
Look, it's me, your beloved.
Hello. How are you? Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Alright. I wonder if we're gonna try to fit Sayu into our rotation of our motley crew. I don't know if she'll fit.
Motley Crew. I mean, you already have a Jean, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Because she's supposed to be an animo healer, so like, unless they pull a fucking Diona, there should be no way that she's better than Jean.
Yeah. Well.
But we'll see. I mean, they did it to Chi-Chi, so.
Yep. But I mean, Jean. Well, I was gonna say Jean has other things. She has VV, but well.
The only thing Jean would have over, like, it really comes down to what kind of utility is Sayu gonna bring.
Mm-hmm.
Because Jean should have the edge on damage.
Yeah. Should
have the edge on damage because of her E swap damage. It's also possible that just because Jean's E yeets people and that's kind of annoying, Sayu might be preferred for that sole reason, you know?
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
See.
I don't know what her E is supposed to be or anything. If her ult's that turret, but
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really looked into any like leak stuff for her, so I couldn't really say.
oh, I haven't either. I'm just
Yeah.
speaking purely about what we saw in that video.
Yeah. All I know is she's supposed to be a 4-star animo healer, so that makes her directly compete with Jean, but we'll see. I mean, it's... If Sayu... Like, if by some weird happenstance, Saxord Sayu is like an amazing animo battery, then she might see use past what Jean gets, I guess.
Yeah.
If by some weird case that is the case.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like how Diona's the best cryo bat in the game if you have a Sackbow. Because that could make her a very strong choice for a Xiao team.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Sucrose doesn't do shit for Xiao except for bat him. So if you can get a bat that's also a healer,
Yeah.
You got one extra utility over Sucrose.
Yeah. Oh, well, I do want to say thank you to Zaxton Hong, and actually, we had another one, Coffee Giraffe, for the timestamps.
Thank you, guys.
2 people.
Appreciated.
Two people.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't care, but I'm pretty sure everybody else really appreciates
LOL.
it.
It is appreciated because we ain't making timestamps.
Nah, I ain't doing that shit.
I ain't doing that shit either.
I ain't doing that shit. You, nah. This
Nah, bruh.
podcast goes too many
There's
random places.
There's Inazuma to clear. I ain't got time to watch us talk again for another 2 hours. I got Inazuma to clear.
It's like an hour and a half.
It depends. Last week's was like almost 2 hours.
Meh.
Depends on how much we fuck around, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we were like gremlining without any discussion, it's like an hour 20 maybe.
Yeah.
But like we have a lot of discussion and we kind of futz around at times and shit. So.
Well, I mean, if we forgot, if we would stop forgetting where we're supposed to go.
Bro, one day.
One day.
One day.
One day more. Oh, never mind. Sorry, wrong song. So there's a couple people asking about if we can put this on Spotify or Apple. I know we talked about that at the very end of the last one, but I figure I will try to bring it up earlier so that anybody who doesn't watch to the end can maybe give their input on it.
Yeah, leave a comment below if that's something you would like, because it isn't that much extra work to do that, but it is extra work.
Yeah,
so it's really only something we're gonna do if there's like a demand for it.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out.
It's not hard to do. I just basically have to basically just export the audio file specifically.
Yeah,
and put it up on those things. But like I said, it is extra work, and I'm already kind of tight on like free time.
You heard it here first, folks. Jinx is tight.
So tight. Ah, shit! I already started breaking the. Oh wait, shit! Did you go to a different one?
I went to the
No,
geoflies.
Oh right, I forgot about the geoflies. Yeah.
We've already forgotten where we're supposed to go.
God damn it! And my razor died.
Oof. Well, I gotta heal.
Yeah.
But
I'm just gonna poke this guy.
I don't know. Is there anything besides Spotify and Apple Play Music that?
SoundCloud is a place some people...
Oh man, and I get to finally drop people my SoundCloud. Dude.
Oh boy.
What's like
drop some sick beats. However.
Ooh, there's another heal already.
Well, yeah, we got a Xiao batting you.
The Xiao's batting me.
Yes.
In Soviet Russia, Xiao bat you.
In Inazuma, Xiao bat you.
True.
In Snezhnaya.
Yeah, I'm gonna Snezhnaya. Xiao bat you.
Snezhnaya.
What the fuck did you just hit? You just did damage to something.
It was a butterfly.
Oh my god!
It killed a butterfly.
Jeez. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. We'll figure it out. The one reason that I would like people to watch on YouTube, how does monetization work on those kind of platforms? Like
it doesn't.
So okay, so basically
you don't make any money off of it.
Cool.
Like that's why actual podcasts and shit make them money from things like sponsorships and shit like that.
Okay. Well,
they get big enough to pull sponsors, and then they do sponsorships, and the sponsorships makes the monies.
I wonder if we're big enough to pull in sponsorships.
I mean, it really just depends how many people watch those specifically. I don't really think we can pull in sponsors for the current videos.
Yeah.
If we did be like reg sagging leggings or something.
Reg sagging
leggings.
Leggings. I still
rage soggy leggings.
I still wish we did that Ridge Wallet thing. Ridge Wallets actually look pretty cool. I don't know.
I would have liked to have one.
Yeah.
But I just don't know how much we would have It doesn't seem like there's a crossover of demographic there, but maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, sweaty gamers got cash to spend.
I mean, it is a gacha game, I guess.
True, true. Yeah, we actually had a thing for Exter Wallet, and I never got back to them. Because...
Oh, son of a bitch. You yeeted them in the air, so both of my E's missed. Go that way. Go that way, bitch. Go. Ow.
Yeah, we had a sponsorship thing from Exter, and I kind of dropped the ball on it. Because, I don't know, I'm just... Every time I'm like, oh, we should do a sponsor because they're extra money for free, I'm just like, yeah, but...
Also, when you have integrity, it's hard to get behind sponsoring something you don't actually know enough about.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing, too.
And there's a limit to how much... Like, I don't know. There's, like, surface-level research you can do, but... You know, that can go awry. Like what happened with that BetterHelp shit with all the content creators.
Yeah.
On the surface, it looked like a good thing, right?
Yeah.
And then it became a huge controversy because it turns out that past the surface, it was problematic.
Yeah. I mean, you know, how problematic can a wallet company be? I say, realizing full well that
LOL.
they can be somehow. But
they'll figure out some way.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, I didn't know anybody who had one. I didn't really know anybody who had a Ridge wallet either. And I was like, well, you know,
they seem neat and everything, but
yeah, it was like, okay, with the
plus, like, can I really get behind recommending people buy a $150 wallet or whatever the fuck they cost?
True, that's a...
Especially considering how much of our content is like, you know, don't spend your money on stupid shit.
Yeah. You know, it's, I mean, it's, you know, some people appreciate fancy things, I get it, but, you know, it's just like, I mean, I don't know, I've got a fucking...
I'm currently using a free money clip
for
my wallet that I got for free as a gift from Wish when we bought some random crap. I'm using a free money clip right now.
Yeah, I got like a Duluth trading wallet. It's literally got like one pocket on the side, two pockets on the other. It's like,
yeah,
you can use 3 cards if you don't want to double up.
LOL.
Nah, I don't know.
I am reaching the point where I don't have enough space in my wallet for all the dollar bills I got, though.
Oh man, he's got so much money, he needs a bigger wallet. Jinx truly is a baller.
All the single
I am going to
dollars.
talk about how big of... Oh, single dollars. So he's a stripper.
Yup.
You're gonna sit there and listen to me call you a stripper.
LOL. Because, like, I hold on to all my cash tips for the most part, so I can use them as a bank to, like, change out big bills at work, right?
Yeah.
So I've currently got, like, I think, like, 3 10s, like, maybe 5 5s, and, like, 35 1s or something.
Oh my god.
And so, like, that is too many bills for my free money clip to hold properly.
I mean,
it keeps popping out. The money keeps popping out of the money clip in my pocket.
I'll chat around. It's just at the time when we were doing it, like when these people were coming to us, it wasn't just that. Is we also weren't like putting out a consistent amount of videos.
Yeah.
And at least now I can be like, okay, we're gonna definitely at least put out 1 video a week, at least.
Yeah.
Assuming we're doing a Gremlin and something crazy doesn't happen, but you know, so at least I can come to them with that. You know, I just feel like it's like, oh, you were putting out 4 videos a week. We'd love to do a sponsorship with you. Are you still expecting 4 videos a week for what you're?
Yep.
You know, because that's not gonna not gonna happen.
Pretty much.
But
okay, so I guess at this point we can talk about actual Genshin stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, specifically right now, well, like, what I want to talk about is Ayaka, because we didn't really get to talk about Ayaka in the last video.
Mm-hmm.
And neither you or I have pulled for Ayaka, so, like, fair warning, this is going off of what I have basically heard and discussed with from, like, other theory crafters and whatnot, and people who have been testing Ayaka, and what I've been reading up about her.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a more in-depth look at Ayaka, I recommend looking at 1010's video on her.
Mm-hmm.
He put out a first impressions and then like a full review of her. and both are very solid. And most of his conclusions I can agree with from what I've seen. There's a few little nitpicks maybe, but I mean, that's generally how it goes with me and 1010. I agree with like 90% of the shit he says, and I have a few nitpicks that may differ. But yeah, so I guess the elephant in the room is Ayaka better than Ganyu? And the answer is no, except for like one situation, which is speedrunning.
True.
If you don't have a C6 Ganyu, then Ayaka is probably a better one rotation speedrunning character because all her damage is front loaded into the first 5 seconds. Yeah. Her ult does an insane amount of damage, and it does it over the course of 5 seconds. Technically 6.5 because of the cast time, but you know, whatever.
Okay.
And Ganyu has better numbers than Ayaka does, but they're spread out over time compared to Ayaka.
Right. And speedrunning is in general a different beast than
which is a thing to keep in mind, because you're probably going to be you're definitely going to be seeing like these videos of these whales like one-shotting abyss floors and one-shotting like world bosses and weekly bosses and shit with Ayaka like wombo setups.
Yep.
And the thing to keep in mind is that like numerically Ganyu is still better than Ayaka. However, Ayaka is better for those kinds of speedruns because her damage is front-loaded.
Right.
Because she dumps out her ults and dumps out all her ult damage in 5 seconds, versus Ganyu, who's doing damage with her ult over the course of what is it, 15 seconds, and then is it 15 seconds? How long does her ult last? I forget. Who's dumping out her ult damage over the course of 15 seconds, and then also spreading out her damage amongst her fat fucking charge shots. But also, that doesn't mean Ayaka's bad, because Ayaka is a very, very good unit. It's just, Ganyu is like on the same tier as Venti, in that she's just like exceedingly better than other options.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, in my opinion, the only 4 overpowered units in this game, like truly overpowered units, are Ganyu, Venti, Bennett, and Jinjinx. Those are the only 4 truly overpowered units, in my opinion.
Overpowered in like as a general sense, or overpowered for like, Bennett and Jinjinx are too good for being 4 stars?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
Those things kind of go hand in hand, I suppose.
Yeah, they are too good for being 4 stars, but even if both were 5 stars, I'd probably still consider them overpowered. Maybe Jinzhou would drop down to like Zhongli level, because Zhongli is like on the cusp of being overpowered, but like we've said, he's a comfort pick, he's not a damage pick.
Mm-hmm.
And like, comfort is very important, but the reality is if you have very limited pulling power, right? Base characters aren't gonna hit DPS checks. Like, the base characters in the game just aren't gonna hit DPS checks. If you need proof of that, watch Envy's like, base character runs of the Abyss. Base characters just don't hit DPS checks, so you really need to have some characters that can bring out the damage to clear like the DPS checks before you can really worry about comfort.
Right, because at the end of the day, it's a DPS game. It's not a...
Yeah. The comfort's just nice because once you have the DPS, it makes it so you need lower skill in the run to be able to do the clear you want.
Right.
Which is what Zhongli is amazing for.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't bring the big dick damage that you need to be able to clear Abyss 12 floors in 3 minutes.
Yeah. And 100,000 ult is nothing. Every 12 seconds is nothing compared to, any other character doing 50k every 2 seconds.
Yeah, his ult, and on top of that, he loses so much comfort when you do that because you have to build him damage and not HP. Yep. So his shield becomes really fragile.
Yep.
And there are just better options for I dump big damage ult and leave characters.
Yep.
But yeah. But I mean, Zhongli is very strong. I don't consider him like truly overpowered, but he's like on the tier right below that. The same tier that like Xiao, Hu Tao, and like now also Ayaka kind of sit on as carries. Like, that's around the tier that like Zhongli is as a support, in my opinion. But yeah, Ayaka, like, so it's on that topic, like, Ayaka is, like, top level carry right below Ganyu. on that similar level of like Zhao and Hu Tao, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about Ayaka is her ult. So much of her damage is loaded into her ult. It's like the same shit as Eula, except for unlike Eula, her ult is front loaded, which makes it much better.
Yep.
But her ult, so much of her damage is in her ult. Her charge attacks aren't actually as good as people think. Her charge attacks are pretty good, but they're not like anything super amazing. They're not competing with any pyro vape normal attack or charge attack rotations. Like they don't really compete with like Klee's base damage. They don't really compete with like a Diluc or a Hu Tao vaping. They don't really compete with like Zhao doing Zhao things, right? They are good though. Like let me pull up my sheet real quick. Where did I put that sheet? So like before you account for any of her modifiers and her ascension talents, because she does get modifiers to her charge attacks and cryo bonus from her ascension talents.
Mm-hmm.
Her talent 6 charge attack spam, like what's it? XD who wrote the Ayaka Kaching mains guide said N2C, 2 normal attacks into a charge attack with jump or dash cancels is the best. My frame counts put N1C slightly ahead by like 2 or 3%. But maybe their frame counts are a bit better than mine because mine were really rushed, honestly. But anyway, point is, with both of those, she's hitting around 200 MVS, which is like 10% better than like Kaya's charge attack spam.
Mm-hmm.
Since, you know, in terms of like freeze carry comps, if we're not looking at Ganyu, then we're looking at Kaya. And so like it's only about like 10%.
Or Kaching with.
Right, or like a Chong converted Kaching sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And like just a reminder, Talent 6 Kaching hits 300 MVS, right? Yeah. So like that's like kind of like the standard of like what we're looking at for like a flat damage. Or like that's like the top of like a flat damage charge attack carry. Like non-reaction charge attack carry.
Yep, yep.
So it's about 200 MVS to about my N1C jump is hitting about 210 MVS, 209 and a bit. But again, my frame counts are a bit rushed, so it's possible to go a little bit higher, and both the rocks fell down. Fuck me. All right.
I knew I should have waited for you.
However, this is without accounting for her Ascension 1 and Ascension 4 passive.
Mm-hmm.
So her Ascension 4 passive makes it so when she hits something with her dash, she gets a cryo bonus, 18% for like 6 seconds or something. So if you account for that, then the effective MVS after, assuming you have a plus 20 cup and assuming you have a plus 20 cup and assuming you have, you're using, 2-piece Blizzard Strayer, and Ayaka should always be using 4-piece Blizzard Strayer, like there's no exceptions there.
Mm-hmm.
That's always her set. Assuming that, then we're looking at around 220 to 230 MVS.
Just still lower than Kaching.
And then her Ascension 1 passive makes it so that after she uses her E, her elemental skill, she gets a 30% damage bonus to normal and charge attacks for 6 seconds. So in that 6-second burst window of time, she is hitting about 290 to 300 MVS.
Okay, but that's only during that 6 seconds of time.
That's on that 6 seconds of time, and this is with like near perfect jump cancels, because her jump cancel timing is really fucking weird.
Uh-huh.
Because like you can jump cancel way before her charge attack comes out. Yep. Like it's basically as soon as like the animation and sound for her sheathing a sword and it chinking ends, you can jump and the attack still comes out.
Okay. So
like you jump cancel really early on to make it work.
Uh-huh.
But during that 6-second period of time, she is about on par with Kaching for charge attack spam.
Oh, okay.
While burning a little bit less stamina than her. But what puts her so far ahead of Kaching is her fucking ultimate. That's I'm pretty sure is the highest base motion value dump truck ability in the game. Like if people are impressed by Zhongli's dump truck ults, like. So I mentioned this before we started the podcast, but at Talent 6, this isn't even Talent 8 or Talent 10. At Talent 6, the base motion value of her ult is 3,223%, assuming all ticks hit. And if you're running a freeze team, all ticks are gonna hit at least one target. So like, Zhongli's level 10 ult is like 900%.
Good lord.
Yeah, and like Kaya's ult at T6 is 1200 to 1400% if I remember correctly, depending on if you get 13 or 14 hits with it. Zhongling's is like, I think 1200 or something, around that range without C4. So like, and I mean it is an 80 cost 20-second ult, and like Zhongli's is a 40 cost 12-second, but still like that is a disgusting amount of base damage, right?
Right.
I don't remember what Eula's gets up to, but it's a lot higher than Eula's base damage on her ults. And this is on top of her using full Blizzard Strayer, which is objectively the best set in the game. Like, this is not, like, you're gonna be running double cryo on her team because you need double cryo to keep her ult coming up, right? Because it's an 80 cost. And her E is pretty good. It's a 10-second 4 to 5 particles, so that's actually really high energy production. But it's still not enough for her to solo fund herself. So yeah. You're gonna be running double cryo, and things are gonna be frozen, so you're getting 55% crit rates from the full Blizzard Strayer set, on top of having that disgustingly high base motion value. So, like, I mean, like, just to give you an idea, like, Chad is a C6 Ayaka.
55% crit rate, and then...
Yeah, 55% crit rates, then they're frozen, and then 3,200 motion value. Like...
Where are you getting 55 from?
Huh?
Where are you
Cryo
getting...
Resonance.
Cryo Resonance...
It's 15%, and then 40% from the full Blizzard Strayer set.
Are you adding in the 5% base?
Oh no, I'm just saying a bonus 55%.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
No, it's a base 60%.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a base 60%, but like 55 from just
you're getting...
Yeah.
You are obtaining... Okay, I got it.
Yeah, you're getting a bonus of 55 crit rate just for running the full Blizzard Strayer set and running a double cryo team for Ayaka. Like, that is part of what makes Ganyu so strong, too, is the fact that she gets to run full Blizzard Strayer, and full Blizzard Strayer is the most broken fucking set in this entire game. So yeah, Ayaka's ult, like, in most rotation calculations I've seen, Ayaka's ult makes up 50 to 70% of her damage. And in a lot of teams Ayaka runs, she makes up, like, the majority of her damage, so we're talking about her ult potentially being about 50% of your entire team's damage. Like, her ult is, and also, all that damage is condensed in 5 seconds. That's what makes it so good for speedrunning. Because all of that damage is condensed in 5 seconds of active damage time. So, like, that's why I was saying earlier, the main place that Ayaka outdoes, like, Ganyu is in speedrunning. Although C6 Ganyu might be a bit faster. But outside of that, like, she would be better for speedrunning if you're gonna one-rotate content anyway. Because of the fact that her ult is condensed into 5 seconds of active damage time.
Yeah.
The fact that it's also 5 seconds too makes it work really well with Mona.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, the part of what makes Morgana so strong is that you can extend Mona's Omen by freezing targets, because when targets are frozen, the bubble doesn't pop.
Right.
And so so you extend the duration of her Omen, but you don't have to extend the Omen duration with Ayaka, even though you can, because Mona's ult lasts 5 seconds at Talent 10. So it lasts exactly long enough for all of Ayaka's damage to get amped by it. So yeah, she works really well with Mona, which is what makes the Morgana team so strong. Because like you're basically replacing Diona with Ayaka and having Ayaka just dump a dump truck at the Venti cluster with her ult.
Ditto dumper.
Yep. But yeah, and like her charge attack spam, like I said, the 6 seconds of charge attack spam is pretty good. It's not like, you know, it's not Hu Tao level, it's not like Vape Hu Tao level, not Vape Diluc level, it's not Xiao level, it's not Ganyu charge shot level, but it's good. It's still very good. For that 6 second period of time. But that's why she's not like, you know, she's not like Hu Tao, who Hu Tao all she cares about is her charge attacks. Her ult is kind of an afterthought. It's nice, but like not really not amazing.
Right.
And like with Ganyu, I mean, Ganyu can just charge shot. That's what makes Melt Ganyu so fucking good. And like the best single target in the game. is the fact that Ganyu can just use charge shots and hit the highest DPS in the game for single target. Like Ayaka doesn't have that because her charge attack has too much end lag, and even when you're jump or dash canceling it, it just takes too long. Compared to like Kaching's charge spam, which is a lot less damage per charge attack, but is way faster. Ayaka's charge attack is just too slow.
Yeah, so same problem like Jean. Where Jean's charge attack.
Oh yeah, her charge attack is actually really high. It's actually a really high base value.
Yeah, but Jean's charge attack does almost as much damage as Kaching's does per.
Like Kaching's full charge attack combo.
Yeah, but it's just. I mean,
slow.
This is slow.
Yeah, it's a slow combo compared to Kaching. But yeah. So that's not to say you shouldn't charge attack on Ayaka. It's good to. And like I said, if you really want more information on how to play Ayaka team comps, all that stuff, check out 1010's video and check out the Kaching main's website because they did post a full Ayaka guide. And a lot of the information I'm talking about has come from both of those sources on top of other things. According to the Kaching Maid's Ayaka guide, you should be like swapping between N2C and N2J. So like 2 normal attacks into a charge attack and either a jump or a dash cancel afterwards. Or N2CD, which is dash. Because the thing with Ayaka is you have to dash at minimum every 6 seconds to keep your attacks infused with cryo.
Right.
So like 1010 like suggests just doing dashes, like N2C dash. Jump is slightly better frame wise, but it's up to you really. And jump is a bit better for stamina. Although that being said, Ayaka's A4 makes it so that when she not A4, just I think her dash talent period makes it so that when she dashes into a target and like applies the AoE cryo from her dash onto a target, it refunds 10 stamina, so it makes her dash stamina neutral.
Yeah.
So she doesn't really have stamina. Like Kaching has more sustained charge attack damage because she's not limited to a 6-second window, but like Kaching has stamina issues. Ayaka really doesn't because of how slow her charge attack rotation is and the fact that her dash cancel costs 0 stamina if you're hitting something with your dash. But yeah, Ayaka ult do big damage. That being said, like if you're running Ayaka, run freeze Ayaka. Like I said, full Blizzard Straya is the only set you run on Ayaka. If you don't have a good full Blizzard Straya set, go farm one. If you want to run Ayaka.
Sag.
Ayaka needs to run a freeze team for 2 reasons. First off, if you don't run a freeze team, shit can just walk out of your ult.
Yeah.
If shit isn't frozen, they can just walk out of your ult, and that's bad. Second reason is because melt is not very good on Ayaka. Like, you don't run a full Blizzard Straya set on like a melt team, right? Because the target's supposed to have Pyro Aura on them, so you don't even get the Blizzard Straya bonus. That's why Melt Ganyu runs 4-piece Wandering Troop. But Ayaka's not very good for melt. I mean, you can do it, but you're not getting much out of running melt. Because all of Ayaka's damage, either her charge attacks or her ults, are like lower instances of damage, but heavy multi-hits. Like, her ult does so much damage because it hits 20 times. But each damage tick is not that great, and it follows normal internal cooldown rules, so you should only be melting about 1/3 of your damage. So, like, that's why Melt Ganyu isn't... Oh, not Melt, sorry, why Melt Ayaka isn't super great, because you're only melting about 1/3 of your damage. Versus, like, you know, Melt Ganyu, who melts 100% of her damage.
Yeah.
And Melt Rosaria, who melts 100% of her damage. So yeah, so Melt Ayaka's not great. Same with her charge attack. The charge attack itself hits 3 times. But you're only melting 1 of those 3 hits, so melt isn't really that good. You can run Melt Ayaka, but it's not really that good. Freeze Ayaka is definitely the way to go, especially because it lets you abuse the full Blizzard Straya set, which is the most broken set in the game. And also because freeze keeps shit in place so Ayaka's ult can hit them.
I hope whoever timestamps this just like timestamps the past 10 minutes is Jinx Ayaka rant.
Jinx Ayaka rant, lol. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, that's Ayaka. She's strong. 10-10 puts her in the same tier of carry as Yao and Hu Tao, which is like the tier right below Ganyu, basically. Yeah. And I pretty much agree from the calcs I've seen.
Yeah.
But he makes an important point that unlike Zhao and Hu Tao, she doesn't really have caveats. Like, you know, Hu Tao's got all the caveats of like health, of like HP management, tied to like needs to be vaped properly. Wants to maintain less than 50% HP, has stamina constraint issues from charge attack spam, all this kind of shit, right? And Xiao has the issue of needing a battery on his team, so his team loses damage because of that, as well as having HP management because he drains his own health, as well as being kind of vulnerable during his jump plunge spam shit, as well as being kind of dependent in single target on being good at collision plunges. Ayaka just freezes shit and hits them. The only real caveat to Ayaka is you need good energy economy because you have to fund her ult because so much of her damage is tied to her ult uptime.
Yeah.
And also the fact that her ult doesn't actually have that much AoE. 10-10 kind of shows us off in his video, but like it doesn't actually have that much AoE. It's not that thick. So there are a lot of instances where it's hard to hit multiple targets with her ult. But yeah, that's Ayaka. She good character. Pull for her if you want, but she's not like... In terms of raw power level, she's not Ganyu, which is fine. But we really don't need more Ganyu level carries in the game, honestly. I'm actually really happy Mihoyo is releasing the new... Like, all the new characters they've been releasing are, like, strong but balanced.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't released another Venti, and they haven't released another Ganyu. I'm happy about that.
Feels good, man.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Yeah. Like, Kazuha is really strong too, but he's not Venti level. And Ayaka's really strong and good too, but she's not Ganyu level. Okay. Yeah, that's my Ayaka rant.
I didn't want to be like, Jinx, we're literally halfway done, and we have only talked about the first and only one point.
I'm sorry. New character, things to talk about. New character.
I know people want to talk about it, but
yeah,
we do put that disclaimer up the front. That's like, this is not a Genshin podcast.
Yep, but they're probably happy that there was quite a bit of Ayaka talk.
Yeah, no, there will be. The fucking nerds. Kidding.
Fucking nerds.
Yeah, that's what they came for, dude. I got it.
LOL. And now everyone is leaving. And this is like the point in the the audience retention metrics.
Yeah.
Where it just dumps down.
Yeah.
Because everyone got what they came for. They heard about Ayaka shit and they're done.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have terribly much to contribute because I haven't done Inazuma yet. And,
yep.
Which brings me
to neither of us have pulled Ayaka.
I'm planning on doing. People are like, "Oh, why aren't you doing Inazuma?" I was like, you were excited for it. It's like I'm trying to plan on doing like a 12-hour stream, like a subathon kind of deal, where it's like every sub gets another 5 minutes, but like going 12 hours minimum, and just doing Inazuma, and I haven't quite figured out a day that works best for that. But I don't know. I was thinking like this Saturday, but I'm like, well, if this video comes out, on Friday, then that's one day of advertising on it, and that might work. But I don't know if that's the best. Yeah, I could say, well, Sunday.
Like
but
I can try to get this out by tomorrow, but it will be a little tight probably.
Yeah.
The thing that really slows down putting these out is like me recording the Twitch chat. Yeah. I have to find like a 2-hour period of time where I can do that, which is hard to do on a workday.
Yeah. I wonder if I could shadow play my own Twitch chat.
Possibly. I mean, that's what I do is I just play your stream for 2 hours and shadow play it.
Yeah. Just think about trying that at some point. Yeah. But yeah, it'd be like do like a little subathon for it and just kind of do Inazuma for 12 hours or so. That wouldn't be too bad on me. I wouldn't get you know, I theoretically shouldn't get bored because there's lots of new content to do. So it's
so much new content. Holy fuck!
yeah,
That's
it's
so
not like
much
I'm gonna be sitting
Inazuma.
around on a normal day just like killing random small things because there's nothing to do after 2
Yup.
hours.
Yup. Nah, like there is so much content in Inazuma. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you're saying it's like you want to do like a 12-hour subathon where every sub increases the stream time by something?
Yeah, like by like 5 minutes, I think is the usual 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes. Every sub increases it from another 5 minutes added to the 12-hour stream.
Yep.
Sounds swell.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never done a subathon before, so I just figured I'd try it. I know
That feeling
something.
where at the end of your subathon, you're probably gonna be further in Inazuma than I am.
We'll see.
I
We'll
mean, I've only
see.
been able to put like maybe 14 hours into Inazuma so far, maybe, and a lot of that's been like commissions and artifact farming.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. Speaking of subs, today's sponsor are the fans.
The fans.
The fans.
The fans with 2 Y's and 3 A's.
The fans.
The fans.
Well, thanks for everybody who's been subbing and stuff. And the podcasts have gotten a lot more views than I ever thought they were going to. I mean,
Yeah, honestly, same. They're
Yeah,
hitting like 20, 30K, which is higher than I was expecting.
oh, I haven't seen any that hit 30. I guess I haven't looked at the old ones, but 20Ks I've seen.
I think one got close.
Oh, nice. Damn.
Let's just say 20 to 25K then.
Damn. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. So, guys, I hope you guys like them. You know, just a little something we can throw in. Doesn't take too much effort from Jinx, who's a very busy guy. Very busy guy. You do
I'm
anything
like so scared
exciting?
I'm gonna land on your pillar.
You done anything exciting recently?
Not particularly, really.
Huh?
Been working, hanging out with Jenny. We started watching Fate Zero.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I wasn't sure Jenny would like it, but we watched a different anime called Juni Taisen that's kind of similar, and she seemed to like it, so she's been enjoying Fate Zero so far.
All right.
She doesn't really like action-heavy anime, but it's like Fate Zero is like so much like backstory and shit, which Jenny does like.
Yeah. No, I
So, yeah.
I binged all of Loki last night.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a new Marvel thing, right?
Yeah. This is good. It was good. It makes me excited for kind of I don't know if you're a Marvel guy at all. I mean, I've seen
No, not at
most
all,
of the
but-
movies, but mostly, I mean, I'm just a big fan of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Especially Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. I'm not really a comic book guy. I mean, I'll fully admit that. I basically just watch I'll watch like the TV series. I watched the Spider-Man cartoon growing up, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And Into the Spider-Verse is probably one of my favorite movies ever made. Just the care it took for the animation, the style, the personality. It's just a really good movie. I've watched it at least 4 or 5 times at this point.
Yeah.
And multiverse stuff is definitely like a thing that plays into the Loki series. So I think it's going to be setting up like multiverse and Spider-Verse stuff, which would be interesting. Supposedly the Spider-Man movie in December is going to kind of bring all of the Spider-Men from across. Where are you?
Huh?
Where are you?
I'm at the spot waiting for you to join.
What spot?
Oh, son of a bitch! We still had more to clear. I'm coming back. I thought we were done, and I disconnected. Shit. We've been doing this for like months, and I'm still fucking up the routes. Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Good God.
I thought we were done,
That is some Papega shit right there.
but
Dude.
they brought me back in.
Just when I thought I was out, it brought me back in. No, but yeah, I don't know. I just really like Spider-Verse stuff. So, But yeah, no. Fate Zero is really good. You should watch Unlimited Blade Works after that. You actually probably should have watched Unlimited Blade Works before that. But technically, this is the right order.
Yeah.
Time-wise, but there's I think there's references or like aha jokes that you'll never get unless you watched Unlimited Blade Works first. But
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, Iskandar.
That's Iskandar.
Yeah, is like everybody's favorite guy. He's just a fucking bro.
He's a fucking Giga Chad. Like, he is the Giga Chad.
Yeah, dude, he's just a big man. He's a big man.
He's just an absolute unit of a Giga Chad.
Yeah. Everybody loves Iskandar. But yeah.
Although I am a big fan of that meme of Gilgamesh, but it's Fry with all of his hands with the money in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I am a big fan of that Gilgamesh meme.
Yeah, shut up and take my money. Shut up and take my money. No, I mean, and then also Saber wears her suit and God slay.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Saber in a suit.
Yep.
You can't see it right now, but I'm dabbing my forehead. Whew. Give me
Correct.
Fellows, ladies, anyone else? Get you a girl who looks good in a suit.
LOL.
Get you a girl who looks good in a suit. But
all of it? Oh, that's all of it. Shit.
Yes, this is all of it. You
okay.
But yeah, no, so gaming news. I think decided whether or not we were going to talk about this actually, but the biggest news in gaming right now really is and only ever was fucking Blizzard. There's really nothing.
Yeah, the walkout.
Yeah, it's really just kind of what there is right now. I mean, that's the big hot topic issue. And,
yep.
I mean, good for those guys walking out.
Yep.
Man. I mean, I really it's not really a good thing to talk about. It's just, I mean, there's nothing really positive about what had happened, and
yep. So it's a shitty situation.
It's a shitty situation, dude.
Massive respects to the employees for taking a stand on it.
Yeah.
We'll see if anything changes.
Yeah. No, and there's just been some really shitty half apologies from management, like, oh, we didn't know it was going. Like, dude, don't tell me you didn't know it going on. Like, I was a manager, I was in management. Like, dude, you find out what your employees do. By the way, that's another thing. Like, if you think you're pulling fast one on your bosses, no, they know whether or not they do something about it. But every manager knows what the fuck's going on in their area, and if they don't, I mean, they're some crazy level incompetence.
Yeah.
But
a large majority of their job is literally to watch you.
Yeah. And no, it's I don't know. Hopefully something changes, because for a long time, Blizzard and Valve were like these paragons of good games, like developers who care, and
I mean, in terms of like, Blizzard's always been known for their polish, right?
Yeah.
Like, they've always been known
and
their cutscenes and like how clean the games are coming out, and generally low bug counts and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, the games are always really polished, which is good for like the consumer. But yeah, apparently they're not very great to their employees.
Yeah. As somebody said, Valve is still good. I mean, Valve is less of a game developer, more of
at this point,
distribution platform. But I mean, I heard
distribution
Alex,
platform made of gold and bundles of cash.
Yeah, I heard Alex is fucking amazing, but
I have heard too, but I still don't know if I'm ever gonna shit out the money for a fucking Valve Index.
Well, since you brought it up, that's if anybody has opinions on it, I still think it'd be really fun to do a podcast in VR chat. So if you guys like think that would be a fun thing to watch or not, I mean, let us know. I think that a VR chat podcast would be actually pretty dope. But yeah, just let us know what you think about that. Since you brought up VR, I wasn't gonna mention it. But.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, no, I mean it's people like Preach, who I watched when I was raiding in World of Warcraft. He quit. I mean, Preach was huge in the World of Warcraft community. He quit. He said he quit.
Oh.
So I mean
why? Because of Blizzard?
Yeah, because of this crap.
I see.
I mean, and the other pervasive issues of like WoW, or like the Blizzard devs, the WoW devs don't seem like they care about World of Warcraft. But I mean,
yeah,
it's just, yeah, this is huge. I do feel bad for people who do this for a living. This is what they do, and but I think it does need to be said. Just don't. If somebody wakes up tomorrow or the next week or whatever, and they still log on and play Overwatch, I don't harass them. I mean,
yeah, don't harass them over shit.
There are people whose literal jobs it is to play Overwatch or World of Warcraft or, whatever random Call of Duty.
Not everyone has especially content creators and streamers. Not everyone has the financial
privilege.
Privilege.
That's really what it is. Like if you can harass somebody for working their job that they use to make money, then you're coming from an extreme place of privilege to be able to tell somebody that they should quit their job because you want them to, and it's the right thing to do. Like, I mean, it's just throw away your financial stability, right? Yeah, no, it's
just stop paying your rent. It's that easy.
Yep.
Can I get a heal?
Beg for it.
Please, please, thank you, Gene Mommy.
What?
Thank you, Gene Mommy.
That's better.
Mommy. Mommy. Thank you, Gene Mommy, for the heal.
God.
I'm so grateful.
Yeah. On a lighter note, though, gaming news. Olympic Gamers, dude. There was a shit ton of people using video game themes for the Olympic walk-on.
Yeah, I saw a tweet about that. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like
Monster Hunter World theme was in there.
Yeah, Monster Hunter World theme. They did some Nier Automata.
Yeah. I saw a tweet that posted the full like list of all of the video game music, and it was like 20, 30 fucking tracks deep.
Yeah. No, it was a lot of songs. Although the irony about playing Nier Automata music at the Olympics is Drakengard 1's ending route E, which is the route that goes into Nier.
Yeah.
Is about a virus killing the population that starts in Tokyo.
LOL.
And apparently there was something about they were gonna do like some Akira stuff initially, like for the 2020 stuff. They were gonna do Akira, but before they pushed it back, Akira is about a virus in Tokyo.
Yup. LOL.
Oh god.
There's gonna be some fucking Nostradamus shit where people are like, they predicted it.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a Simpsons episode.
Yeah, I think it was Nostradamus who's the guy who like was making all the predictions.
Yeah.
And like he gets a few right, and that's the ones people like harp on. What they don't realize is he made literal hundreds upon hundreds, possibly thousands of predictions, and a handful of them came true.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like when there's just The Simpsons predicts everything. It's like, yeah, well, if you make 1,000 episodes, something.
Yup, you make 1,000 episodes with fucking like 2 to 5 things happening in episodes.
Yep.
Laws of probability states some of the shit's gonna happen.
Yeah. There you go. A broken clock is right twice a day. There you go.
Exactly.
But speaking of gamers, played Monster Hunter Stories 2. recently.
Yeah.
Beat it. Well,
Better
no, I didn't. I
Pokemon.
didn't beat it. I didn't beat it. I'll get to that in a second.
Oh.
It's fun. It's quirky. The humor's great. A couple of the characters are fantastic. Orgo is amazing. I actually got some emotes put together of him for my channel. Even used a voice line from the game as my new gift sub thing. It does this pun where it's like, well, if you haven't heard of donuts, then why don't you go nuts? But it in Japanese, it's like donatsurunda.
Yeah, that one.
It's amazing. I've just been using it as my gift sub channel or sound. And no, the stories. I think the story's good. For, better than most Monster Hunter stories that I've ever heard or seen. So
Yeah, and considering that world had like the most story
yeah,
prior to stories. I guess prior to the stories 1 as well, probably. I don't know. No one talks about stories 1.
yeah, I don't know many things about stories 1, but
yeah,
Whew,
good
the
story,
final boss.
But it's also not exactly a super high bar to have a good Monster Hunter story.
right. The final boss. So I have one major issue with it, and I think it would honestly be. We'll talk about that in a second, but it would honestly be fixed by playing the game, I would say, normally. So the game is really easy if you know how to abuse its systems.
Yeah.
And
As most games are, but yeah.
Like to the point where you literally won't take damage some fights.
Oh.
Against any monster. And I had this issue where I didn't realize I was ever under leveled because I was just going through the content and I was never getting hit. And some of the fights were taking a little while, but I didn't really think much of it because the fights had been taking a while. And just since level 1. And I was like level 35 when I got to the last boss, and people were telling me I should be somewhere around level 50.
Oh.
And I was like, well, okay. And so I was beating the last boss, and I got like one shot twice. And there was it's like a multi-phase boss, and I guess spoilers for the boss. So, but it's like a multi-phase boss, and there's 4 phases. 3 of them are quote-unquote real phases, and the 4th one is like what somebody was calling a victory lap. Basically, the boss is charging up his mega ultra move, and you're supposed to beat him before he kills you. And really, it's just a DPS check. And I couldn't meet the DPS check because I simply did not have enough damage because I was that under-leveled. And it's just this huge disconnect because the game never punished me. In fact, rewards you for taking on challenges that are greater than your levels. There's royal monsters that are splattered around the world where they're like 2 or 3 areas ahead of where you're supposed to be. But if you beat them, you get them, and you can have these really powerful monsters. And I guess I just never had an issue because I was beating all these royal monsters, and then suddenly we get to this boss.
It didn't have an appropriate difficulty curve.
Right. The difficulty curve basically was just exponential rapidly.
Yeah.
And
at the very end.
Yeah, and I tried to beat that boss 3 times, and I think the ultimate conclusion was that I would have to go back around and
gotta go grind.
Yeah, it was literally just a case of 7 is bigger than 3, and there's literally nothing I could do about that.
Yep.
And yeah, just I wasn't going to do that. So we watched the cutscene, the final cutscene on YouTube, and
done with stories.
Yeah, I'm done with stories. That's it.
Yep, fair.
Yep,
totally fair.
Yeah,
and like a lot of RPG, I mean, literally every RPG, basically, right?
Right.
Basically every RPG has kind of that you need to grind to a certain point damage check thing. I guess there are some games like Souls-likes and stuff where, if you have enough skill, you don't ever have to level up your character sort of thing.
Yeah.
Some ARPGs are kind of like that, but generally speaking, most and any RPG game kind of has that like you need a certain level of power to clear the final content.
Mhm.
But it sounds like the problem with story specifically for that you're talking about was the fact that the curve towards that was sudden.
Yeah.
That it wasn't a smooth progression curve. That
Yeah.
you had no problem until you reached the end. The game's just like, well, you don't have the DPS.
Yeah, I had
You've
zero...
always had the DPS, but now you suddenly don't.
Yeah, I had zero issues, and I didn't even necessarily like just like run past everything. You know, I was doing some side quests and doing some random stuff, and I never had an issue the entire part of the game. And in fact, was beating these royal monsters, which are supposed to be like mini bosses.
One of the biggest challenges in the progression path.
Yeah. Like you're basically not supposed to be able to beat them unless you really understand the game and abuse these.
Or you've ground way too much.
Or you grinded way too much, or came back later and beat them, afterwards or whatever. And just suddenly, and people were like, well, then why don't you just go and grind more then? Why don't you just go grind and then come back later? It's like, but see, that's the problem for me, is that I spent all this time. I'm at the end of the game. I'm at the final boss.
You've never needed to grind.
It's not necessarily that, but I'm already here at the final boss, and then all of a sudden I'm supposed to spend another 5 or 6 hours, because you don't gain levels that quickly.
Right.
5 or 6 hours grinding out levels just to go back. I mean, I'm already at. It's like reading a book, and then you're at like the last page. And the book is like, no. You got to go read chapters like 5 through 8.
Yep.
Before you can finish the book. It's like, I'm already here. Yep. It's like, no, I'm not going to go do that. I'm sorry.
It's similar bad design to like the kind of games that you see a lot in like the AAA sphere.
Yeah.
Where like in order for you to go fight the final boss, you have to go. They're like, okay, but first you need to do like 10 grindy fetch quest shits.
Yeah.
Or like go find like 5 more keys before you're allowed to go to the final boss.
Right.
Where it's just like, here's like a sudden amount of extra grind you need to go through to reach the next step of content. Which is not very good game design.
Yeah.
Game design should have a progressive curve of difficulty that and whether your game requires grinding or not grinding, it should be a progressive curve.
Well, and here's something that I think would help. Your character and your monsters have levels, but you never see levels of enemies.
Oh,
and if I had seen, like, I was level 35, but all of a sudden
you were clearing like 45,
right, I would have been like, oh, okay, no, we need to do something about this. But they never give you a level, so I had no idea I was underleveled.
Yeah.
And
no clue.
Yeah, yeah, that's just a thing I had. Because I don't think grind is bad if it's taught to you to do it since the beginning.
Yeah.
It's just
I think I saw this in the chat somewhere. But like, I agree with them that I feel like a lot of the Final Fantasy games do it well, because all the really fucking hard shit is like the optional end game content.
Right. It's the thing you
it's like
go
the post game shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you don't beat Sephiroth. It just is a Square Enix game, but you don't beat Sephiroth before you beat the final boss, or like Lingering Will. It's something you do after you've beaten the game.
Yeah, and you're just like, I want to grind more and kill more difficult shit, and they give you the option to.
Yeah.
But like the actual story progression itself is not that difficult. You don't really ever need to grind if you understand the combat mechanics well enough.
Right.
Like I remember I was playing FF13 and I tried to do one of the end game optional things before the final boss, and I was like, oh, my entire team except for my tank got one shot by a single stomp of this fucking adamantoise. Fuck me, I guess I'll come back later.
Yeah, and that's why I say I think if you played it correctly, quote unquote, most people would not have an issue with this. Because most people are probably gonna go
grind a bit.
IV grind, get the perfect setup for their monster, and maybe go and catch every monster, or like go breed every monster they can, or some other random form of things, or do more side quests than I did, maybe. But you know, unfortunately, a Monster Hunter Stories 2 was a break from Genshin Impact, and you know, I did feel a lot of guilt not playing Genshin while I was doing it, and you know, I felt the need to hurry as much as I could.
Yeah. Not like take a leisurely time with it.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people are like, well, why don't you play it off stream? It's like, well, because, you know, you get that nagging, you know what I'm talking about when you say you get that nagging feeling in your head where it's like, why am I not doing my job because I'm already sitting in front of my workstation?
Yeah.
And
all I have to do is turn on stream.
Yeah, and it's I don't know, I really don't play a lot of video games outside of streaming. I try to play as much guitar as I can and do whatnot stuff. So.
Yeah. Plus, you spend so much time doing it for work already.
Right. Yeah. No, it's
healthy to have other hobbies.
Yeah. I think a lot of people glamorize this. You know, they do that. It's like, oh, do the thing you love, and you'll never work a day in your life. Except then you grow to resent the thing that you love. You know.
Yep.
That's definitely an issue, I'm sure. Most people who have actually streamed.
I don't know if necessarily doing the thing you love is the secret. I think the secret is loving what you do for work.
Yeah.
Because if like the hobby you love the most in the world becomes your work, like you said, you may end up resenting it, or at the very least, you won't want to do more of it once you're done with work.
Well, see, and it's like I was just talking to a guy.
And then you gotta find new hobbies.
Because I'm building a Nashville Telecaster, which is basically just a Telecaster with 3 pickups. It's a guitar shit. I mean, whatever. Most people aren't
guitar
gonna know.
thing.
But basically, I had to have a pickup routed out of a pick guard that I like because I didn't want to buy a new one. And I was talking to this guy.
You're so much faster than me.
I was talking to
so tall.
I was talking to this guy who does all the routing and stuff, and you know, I was talking to him, and he's like a carpenter. He builds stuff. He's got all the machine stuff for it, and he builds random things for people. And, you know, these cabinets, drawers, dressers, you know, he had like a bunch of stuff sitting in his shop. And he was telling me, he's like, you know, what I would really like to do is actually make guitars and put them together and custom guitars and stuff like that and paint them and whatever. But I know they wouldn't sell as well as my cabinets and the stuff like that. And I just don't have time to do it or the risk to try this random thing and put everything else on hold for a while, because if it doesn't work out, you know, I'm not going to be making money to feed my kids and my wife. And, you know, it's like you and I, you know, we want to play other games. You know, we tried covering Apex Legends for a while because you were really into that. And it just wasn't a thing that was financially viable.
Yep.
And
which also kind of comes full circle back to the whole thing where they don't harass people who play Blizzard games.
Yep.
Because those content creators got bills too, and you are in a place of great privilege as a content creator if you can afford to do variety stuff.
Yeah, that is. Ooh. Yeah, that is not a. I think a lot of people are just like, well, why don't you just play variety? That is, that is not a thing. Whoa, what? Do they not like you for you? It's like, oh no, they like me for me. To some degree, but they also like me for me when I'm doing the thing that they want to see.
Yep.
You know, I can like so-and-so person on TV, but I don't want to see them, I don't know, eating a sandwich. I want to see them doing the thing that they're supposed to be doing. And, you know, whatever, but yeah, I don't know. But that's kind of what's going new on in my life. I'm building a guitar. Well, I'm not.
Guitar.
I'm paying people to build a guitar for me.
LOL.
Which, I guess is still pretty good.
Moami Jean, I need a heal.
Okay. Come to this rock and I'll give you a heal.
I'm coming.
Yeah, I showed some pictures of it on Twitter. My guitar. It's like, this guitar is saving my life. Because it is. It's just such a nice reprieve. I think music is just really such a nice tool for me, personally. But
I also, and like you said, with the whole like variety stream thing.
Yeah.
I mean, people can like you for who you are, but it doesn't mean that they want to watch the game you're playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heal me, please.
Okay.
Yeah, it isn't necessarily like a divide of some people like who you are and some people don't. It's some people like who you are and some people don't, but then the people who like who you are also have to intersect with the people who are willing to watch the kind of thing you're doing.
Yep.
On top of that, so there's an even smaller percentage on top of that smaller percentage.
Like, I would love to play the new GTA update because they named it after me, but
Lol.
I don't know. I'm gonna try it. I was talking with Heika. He reinstalled GTA
Oh yeah,
for fun.
Nice.
Because it's like the Japanese tuner update. It's like literally all the cars that I like, you know, MX,
Lol, yeah,
or RX-7. You know, it's got an S2000 in there. It's got you know, an A91 Supra. It's got a 240SX Sylvia. Let's see, what else has it got? Oh, there was a bunch of random shit. They're gonna put in a 22B eventually. I don't think it's out yet. And there's just lots of really good cars. Yeah. And I really want to play it. I know GTA RP is like a big thing right now, and I haven't really considered going into it, but like, man, I just love cars.
Yeah.
I just love cars. They're so, I don't know, they're just, man, working on cars, it was like, that was my escape for a while.
Yeah.
You know, going to car shows, taking pictures, working on my car. I had a Mazda Speed 3 first gen, beautiful little hatchback in this nice dark silvery blue. I had done you know, and I had actually done the work. I hadn't paid somebody to do it. I did all the work. I did full exhaust, intake, turbo, fuel, high pressure fuel injectors. God, what else did I do? But basically just a long list of shit. Coilovers. God, I remember I was doing the coilovers, and I had my grandpa. I was working with my grandpa because he had a lift in his garage, and he had pried open the spring seats, and I was putting the springs back in, and I was like, okay. He thought I was done, and he lowered them down. My fingers were still in the spring seats, so I had these fucking rear springs pressing
Oh no.
onto my fingers. And I'm like,
Oh no.
Can you lift that back up, please?
Oh no.
I tried to say it as calm as I could, dude.
Oh
and
no.
you guys, I got him off, and I remember I was working on my my E30, and I was changing the clutch on the floor while my car was on jack stands. For those of you who are aware, that is literally like 1.5 feet, 2 feet off the ground. So I'm literally on my back, and I've lifted the transmission down, and I didn't have a transmission jack or anything. And so I'm literally lifting my transmission into place via my fucking sheer might as a human being.
Oh dear.
And I've got my arms like I'm on the ground, so I would say over my head, but you get what I'm saying, like raise your arms straight up, like I'm lifting my transmission up like that. And it gets a little heavy, it kind of slips a little bit, and my mom was there with me, helping me out. This was the first car I ever bought, this E30. And she's watching to make sure I don't fucking die. And I'm like, hey, Mom, could you grab my my jack stand? And
Lol.
I'm like trying to be as calm as I can. I don't want to stress her out, you know, like be like, hey, I could die right now by dropping a transmission on my head. I'm just like, can you get my my jack stand and kind of like, I don't know, put it somewhere near there and just kind of lift it up. You know, just anywhere's fine. I need you to do it real quick though.
Real casual. I'm about to die.
And no, it was fun. It was a really good experience. I remember I was gonna sell the car, and I like stripped a bolt off the engine block. I had to go get one of my neighbors who was working on he had an old Fox body Mustang, and way more tools than I did. He had the whole fucking cabinet full of tools and shit. And I was like, "Do you have something that could remove a stripped bolt?" Just talking to this random guy asking for tools and shit.
LOL.
But yeah. Just I don't know. I have a really good memories of working on guitars and cars and guitars.
Yes, cars and guitars are Atuna's favorite things.
True, and that's where the name comes from.
Yeah.
There's a song by oh god, Say Anything, I believe. It's off of their Is a Real Boy album. And I can't remember the name of the song, but it goes like it's like my car and my guitar. It's like as long as I've got my car and my guitar.
LOL. But did they actually say anything?
Yeah. No, they did. No, actually, the lead singer of Say Anything.
Yeah.
I could be remembering wrong, but
I know I've heard and liked some of their stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm very bad at remembering music-related words.
As far as I'm aware, he has a lot of mental health issues. I want
Yeah, I
to
can see
say
that.
he might be bipolar, maybe even schizophrenic, but definitely has some mental health issues. And his the thing I remember most about him is I believe his grandparents were in if not Auschwitz, they were definitely in like a concentration camp, and he wrote a song based on an experience that his grandfather had because he and his wife were in a concentration camp, I believe, and it's a song called "Alive with the Glory of Love," and it's literally about fucking.
Lol.
Like it's like as long as we have each other, we'll get through anything. But it's like through the lens of a teenage boy who's like, I am ready to fuck you in this camp. Like it's highly fucked up, but it's kind of a beautiful song in the way that it's just like we'll make it through because we have each other. And this,
LOL.
yeah, weird music that people make, definitely, but. But yeah, I was saying I got my my new amp and my new working on my new guitar stuff. Pretty fun. The new amp is a lot bigger than the little 5-watt amp I had. It's a 30-watt, which is I guess is not that huge by some standards, but little CV30 from Blackstar. I'd never played on a Blackstar before. And I just been jamming on this thing at the guitar shop for the past like 2 weeks, and I'm just sitting here like, fucking hell. If you're gonna come in here like 3 times a week, I'm playing this amp. You just need to buy the fucking thing. I'm like, you are coming in here and bothering these gentlemen by playing the damn amp. Just buy it. And they're like, dude, you're not bothering us. If we didn't like you, we'd fucking kick you out. I'm like, you're not going to tell me, like, to get out. I'm like, yeah, we've done it before. I've told people to get out. I don't know, man. I hate bothering people because, like, it's like that whole, you know.
You're a polite Midwestern boy.
Well, it's like going to GameStop and just sitting in there not buying anything but talking to the people who work there about video games while they're trying to check other people out. Like, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. So I bought it, and I'm like, well, you know, at the very least, I need to play it at home. And they're good guys. They hook me up all the time with like, you know, there's a minimum bench fee of like $40, and they'll like change my strings out for free, or I just bought the amp, and they were like, well, if you want to buy this other thing you were looking at, you can get it for $100 off, and they hooked me up on price and shit and whatever. But
nice.
I'm not pretending like they're my friends or anything. That's parasocial as fuck. But
shh, they're your friends. They're not your friends. They're your friends.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's not like a fucking a Ted Brown or a fucking Guitar Center. It's like it's just like literally it's the same two guys every fucking day. The owner runs a bicycle store right next to it, so it's like basically just a 4-person operation, and so they get to know you and shit, but. Yeah, it'd be weird to be like, hey, you sell me guitars. That means you're my friend, right?
Yeah. Don't know if that quite qualifies as parasocial, since I believe parasocial is innately one-sided. Kind of just sounds like it's more of a one-sided relationship.
Yeah.
But I'm also not 100% certain on what the nuances of difference between the two are.
Yeah, I mean...
but I'm mostly only familiar with parasocial in terms of like talking about fans and a celebrity of some kind.
Yeah.
Where it's innate, where it is one-sided. There is no way for it to not be one-sided.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Relationships are weird.
Relationships.
I want to have intercourse with you. Relations.
Intercourse with you. Now, what's another word for intercourse?
God, dude.
One of those old Family Guy clips.
Dude, I say that all the time. Like my entire if any of you have never watched the stream, you're watching on YouTube, and you've always well, whatever tuna stream. It is literally like early 2000s SpongeBob and Family Guy. That's pretty much entirely.
LOL. That is Tuna's repertoire.
That's my repertoire. Yes, shallow and pedantic. Oh my god. Someday I will come up with some better jokes, but.
Yep. Let's see. Someone has Zagan has a Venti question. Does he still want VV or does he want the ER set VV? No question.
Is that 60% damage from swirl?
Yeah, especially because EM Venti is the best way to run him. But even if not, the only case I could see you could make for like not running VV on Venti is if you don't care about the resistance shred because you're like running a Geo Animo team or something.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not running, and therefore you're not running EM Venti, you're running a crit Venti.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the only situation where Venti probably wouldn't run a 4VV. The new ER set is good. It's not that good. Especially because, like, Venti shouldn't ever really need more than, like, 160, 180 ER anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, Venti is
like,
very self-sufficient.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the comp. In some comps, you can only get, like, 2 E's off per ult, because of rotation restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
So he might need like around 160, 180 for that. But yeah. Venti does not need that much ER.
Yeah.
And that's actually one thing I wanted to mention too, because I didn't get to mention the last video when we were talking about the new ER set. In basically every situation, building more ER to get more bonus out of the new set is worse than building other stats if you don't need the ER to ult.
Right.
Like, if you only need, like, 180 ER to ult with your Jinjinx off cooldown, then building more ER to get more bonus out of the set is worse than building more of other stats. Like attack or whatever. There is not really any situation in which building more ER with the new set will make you do more damage once you're ulting comfortably. Yeah, you still only need to build enough ER.
Okay.
Yeah, which is part of my problem with my new ER set, because my 4 set has like 220 ER by itself.
Unless Mona?
So now I'm like, even with Mona, I mean, the thing with Mona is it's nice to have extra ulta over ER with Mona just to make sure you're ulting.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, Mona's really dependent on, like, HP particles for ulting because she doesn't get to pick up her own E.
Yeah.
So, like, she's pretty dependent on, like, HP particles. So sometimes you're fighting shit that drops less HP particles, so you want a little more ER to cover your ass.
Yeah.
But even with Mona, not so much, because, like, Mona's... you have to remember, Mona's Hydro bonus from her A4 is additive with the bonus from the new set.
Uh-huh.
So, like, you're getting so much goddamn ER, you're getting so much goddamn, like, total bonus at that point, you start hitting some dimension, you start hitting, like, some lower returns from it being additive.
Yeah.
But really, like, personally, I run my Mona with, like, 250 ER, because that way I can make sure no matter what, she's always ulting off cooldown. Like, no matter what I'm fighting, she'll be ulting off cooldown. But that's also because I don't really run Mona's ult for the damage. Because, like, it's, I mean, sure, it hits, like, fucking, like, 60, 70k, which is nice and all. But, like, the reason I use it is for the damage buff, so I care to make sure it has, like, high uptime.
Yeah.
If my Mona, like, I run Dragon Slayers on my Mona a lot of the time because I don't care about her ult doing that much damage. I'd rather just make sure she's ulting because I want the Omen debuff for the rest of my team.
That's somebody...
So Gekido says, so attack stance on Fab XQ. If you don't need an ER stance for your Jingcho to ult off cooldown, then you run attack stance, which is most situations you generally can run an attack stance on him. If you have like 0 ER subs, then you might need an ER stance, but generally Jingcho is fine with an attack stance as long as you have like an ER weapon, either Fab or Sac.
Yeah. You got Bennett C6 today, and you got some problems. Shangling and Bennett applies too much pyro. Do I have this kind of problems? Yeah, but I usually just try to work around it then, where it's like, okay, well now pyro's gonna be the aura, so I'll build like Xingqiu's damage, or if you have C6 Xingqiu, it shouldn't out pyro or C6 Xingqiu for the most part. Or like I'll run Kaya and Rosaria and then just like buff them up, and so then I'll be melting their damage instead of Bennett and Shangling's.
Yeah.
Just kind of like if you have too much pyro, then you just need to start building other things. You just start building up your...
Yeah. The reverse melt team you run pretty much makes it so pyros tends to be aura because you have Zhongli in there.
Yeah.
If you replace...
Well, I don't run Zhongli anymore. I run Kazuha now, but...
Oh, you run Kazuha? Yeah, so with Kazuha, you can actually... With Kazuha, if you set it up right, you can run Melt Bennett instead. But it's weird to set up right.
Yeah. I just do the Bennett ult into... like Kaya. Basically apply cryo to the people, then apply pyro to Kazuha, and then double VV, and then just go kick some ass.
Yeah, does that infuse his ult with pyro or cryo, though?
It infuses his ult with pyro.
Okay, yeah. So you're running the reverse melt setup on him then?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. Because like the classic Bennett melt team where you're melting Bennett is Bennett plus any 2 cryo units, basically. Any 2 of them. Plus Sucrose. And I don't know how well that works with Kazuha, because Pyro takes precedence on his ult infusion, so I don't really know how you would manage to get a double off on him and still infuse his with Cryo. E-Heck priority. I don't know if there is a way for you to double buff that and actually get the infusion.
Doesn't Diona's shield apply cryo to a user?
It doesn't matter. If there's any pyro at all, it takes precedence.
Well, no, what I'm saying is like... You could...
The biggest issue is that if you swirl pyro, there's going to be pyro to... no,
but it's just like use
precedence on.
Diona first, and then ult.
I mean...
So that you... swirl the cryo off yourself, and so then you make a
I mean,
cryo
in that
tornado.
case, you can just like have Kaya E something and then
Yeah.
swirl cryo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could probably like Kaya E, Kazuha ult, then Bennett ult E, which puts Pyro on something, then switch back to Kazuha and do an E, and then start doing Bennett melt stuff.
Yeah.
That might work. But like, no matter what, you're not gonna be able to snapshot the Kazuha ults, which is fine. He's an EM bot anyway. But yeah, you can't snapshot Kazuha ults with Bennett ults because if you do, you're gonna get a Pyro infusion no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that could probably work. I don't know if that'd be better than Sucrose though, because Sucrose EM sharing for Bennett's really good for that team.
Fuck it. I like
But it might be.
Kazuha better.
I mean, fair.
Sucrose. A nerd.
A fucking nerd versus Giga Chad Kazuha.
Dude, have you heard Korean Kazuha?
Yeah, I have.
Oh,
Oh baby.
oh baby.
Oh baby.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay.
I think that's
Oh
it.
yeah, one thing I wanted to mention about EMC, and basically no one's gonna hear this because it's at the end of the VOD, but whatever.
We can talk about the next one.
Yeah, but main thing about Electro MC, I wanted to mention a few things. I mentioned last time she's like one of the best dedicated batteries for Beidou. That's only really true if you're parrying well with Beidou.
Uh-huh.
Because EMC's EMC's energy regen from her talismans is not affected by energy recharge, and a lot of her value as a battery comes from her ER sharing.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, like, compared to like Fischl as a bat for Beidou is really nice because she's always just passively generating energy for Beidou.
Right.
So when Beidou has enough ER, she doesn't have to parry. But the problem is that with EMC, because so much of the EMC's energy gen value for Beidou comes from the ER sharing, you have to be parrying on Beidou because you need electroparticles being made. And EMC doesn't really make any electroparticles. She makes one per E. And an important thing that I think Ziff does mentions to me, because I didn't mention it in the previous one we talked about Electro MC. It's important to note that the energy recharge shared by Electro MC does not increase the damage bonus for a unit that is using the 4-piece Severed Fate set. The new ER set.
Yeah.
The 4-set bonus that gives you damage to your ult based on your ER, it does not get any more damage bonus if you get extra ER from Electro MC. Doesn't increase the bonus.
So I was asking you about that. I think last time is like if you could snapshot it for the bonus.
Yeah, it just doesn't increase the bonus at all. It's unaffected.
Okay.
It's only using your base. It's only using like the ER you have before the buff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
So, yeah. It is a shame, yeah, but shrug. The new set is pretty good, but subs still matter more than anything. 1010 did some numbers on it, and for most units, if you're not overdoing it on ER, and you're kind of right at the right spot, like, the 180, 170, 190 range for like 80 cost units.
Yeah.
That they generally need. You're talking about like a 6 to 7% damage increase over 2 NO, 2 elements, which is pretty good.
Uh-huh.
Still pretty good, but that's like easily made up by substats. That being said, I've been playing a lot of Melt Ganyu in Inazuma, and my Xiangling is running a Favonius Lance with 270 ER. Because that way she gets fully funded off of Bennett E-ing once, and so I can just shoot more things with Ganyu. Because Xiangling only exists for Pyro Aura.
Wow.
I mean, honestly, her ult still does pretty okay damage, despite like having because she's running 4-piece Severed Fate.
Yeah.
It's still like with Bennett ults snapshot, it's still like 16k a tick. It's not bad.
Huh. Damn.
But yeah, I mean, she would be doing more damage if I ran like 2 Crimson, 2 NO on her or something, but I like having 270 ER on her because her ult is always up for me to melt Ganyu. And I spend less time on Bennett funding her so I can shoot more things with Ganyu.
Well, I mean, if your damage is mostly coming from Ganyu, then
It's all coming from Ganyu.
yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep. 270 ER Xiangling with a Fav spear.
Oh my god.
LOL.
You-
Okay.
You disgust me.
Good.
Yeah.
For a while, I was running Fav Sword on Bennett as well.
I thought you. I don't know why I auto-filled that sentence. I thought you were gonna say, for a while I was worried I wasn't disgusting you.
For a while, I was worried I wasn't disgusting you, Tuner. It's good to know I still have it in me.
This must mean I'm disgusting. But it's just me, I'm just obscene.
LOL. All right. I guess that is it for the podcast, though.
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for listening or watching. I hope you guys have a good week. See what we do about that subathon. I don't know. I'll probably put like a community thing out if I really decide to do it, when and where I do it, but I think Saturday would probably be the best. So kind of, if you're listening to this tomorrow or today or whenever we can get this out, kind of think about Saturday, I guess.
Yeah, I will try to see if I can get this out like tomorrow or like late tonight.
Yeah.
We will see. Because Jenny and I are gonna go for dinner, and after I get back from dinner, I can probably get the chat recorded while we like watch Fate Zero or whatever tonight.
Well, why don't you just like record it now while you're waiting for dinner?
Because if I do that, I'm gonna end up recording like 4 or 5 hours, and I might run out of space on my hard drive and fuck up the recording. Because we're going out for dinner, so it might be a while.
Oh, I see.
And since I won't be able to stop it, it might be 4 or 5 hours long, and it might actually like eat all of the space on my hard drive. I could try, actually. In worst case scenario, I just delete it and do it and try again while we're watching Fate or whatever tonight.
Yeah. This is why you need to get
Okay.
like a 5 terabyte HH.
I know.
HDD.
I was gonna get one Black Friday, then I forgot.
All right.
I've got a terabyte SSD and a terabyte HDD, and it's not enough. It's not enough space.
All right. Catch you later, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.